What's up, Reddit?
Hey.
Oh no, am I the asshole for doing a good deed?
No.
Oh.
Hey, would you be cool if I
Dried
dried
down there.
Menards with it?
This is a weird one.
You are more than entitled to your own dang frosting.
You're an a-hole. You're an a-hole. You're an
Nah.
a-hole.
All right, grab your paddles.
Oh,
We're gonna
gosh,
do a little
all
bit
right.
of story time with babysitter Harold.
It's time for...
That's
Am
fair
I-
or Nah Brah?
Yes. Exactly that, yeah. If you were watching or listening to last episode, you will know that this is because we are doing the Am I the A-hole stories. And we answer Nah Brah if you are the a-hole, and that's fair if you aren't.
Oh, here we go again.
Our first story. Will I be the a-hole for giving my old cello to a fellow student in need and not my niece-in-law? I've, 36 male, been learning the cello for 8 years and attending the same music school since starting. I started learning late in life because I grew up in a poor family that couldn't afford things like instruments and music lessons. I met Chloe while we were both waiting to go into our lessons a few years back. We speak often about random stuff on the regular because our lessons have always fallen into the same time slot and we're both in the orchestra, etc. She's about 13, very polite and eager to learn, and treats her very cheap rubbish instrument that her parents got for her from an online store like gold. I know her parents, they're lovely people, it's all they can afford. I'm not shaming them, but if you know anything about instruments, you know what I mean. It's also only half size and far too small for her, but there's not a single scratch on it, and she practices every spare minute. I've recently upgraded to a performer instrument and a trade-in on my $9,000 cello, which would have gotten me only $4,000 back, so I decided to keep it and sell it myself. I'm pretty well off now, but I know what it's like to be where Chloe is, so I've taken pity on her. I usually gift her something at Christmas, like her next grade of music book, rosin, and a gift card from the local luthier to get a new bow and have her instrument serviced. But having not had time to list my old cello for sale and even know where to, my good deed strings got plucked at thinking that my old instrument would likely mean the world to someone like Chloe, whose parents will likely never afford a decent instrument for her. But stupid me mentioned this idea to my sister-in-law, Gail, who has a daughter, 14 female. We'll call her Alice, and she told me that Alice wants to learn the cello, and instead that I give the instrument to her daughter instead, as it's too valuable to give to a stranger's kid.
Say what? Say what?
Alice is her own little dude, and we get along quite well, but she has never mentioned wanting to learn an instrument to me until she watched Wednesday, and now it's cool all of a sudden. Alice hasn't stuck with anything for long. She follows fads and jumps from one thing to another and is, for lack of a better word, spoilt, and based on her track record, handing her anything other than a student cello as her first instrument would be a waste, as I'm unable to convince myself that she would even practice, let alone reach a point that would call for this level of instrument. For Chloe is at a point where, yes, this instrument is slightly too big for her right now, but she needs it, and call me what you'd like for this part, but I'd feel happier about giving it away to someone that needs it like Chloe, rather than someone that just wants it but is connected to me, you know? But that has me worried that I might be seen as an a-hole on this decision. Family first, ?
What say you?
That's fair.
That's totally
That's
fair.
You were barely halfway through the story, and I was like, that's fair.
Yeah, I'm like,
Unless you're
there's-
going to turn around and scream at your nephew or niece or whatever. Nah, for sure. That's fair.
That's fair.
That is completely and utterly fair. Not the a-hole.
Yeah, I'm like, first of all, I'm sure this Gail lady just wanted the cello because it's worth $9,000.
Oh, yeah, she could have turned around and sold it.
Exactly. So I think she just wanted it to say, oh, well, look what we got for their kid who clearly is a spoiled brat. Whereas Chloe sounds like she would be one to appreciate it. And I mean, us coming from the arts, we understand instruments are expensive. So having something that she would appreciate and having, especially knowing that her student cello is a piece of garbage, definitely not the asshole.
Oh, yeah.
Not the a-hole. No,
Chloe's
That's
already
fair, man.
Chloe's already proven that
Yeah.
clearly she's the one that is in need of the cello.
And deserves it.
I don't think we were given enough information about the niece or whatever to assume that
Niece-in-law.
it just, but what words? From what OP said, pretty obvious that the fad follower and whatnot.
Yep.
Like music is hard.
Yeah.
Learning an instrument is hard and takes,
Copious amounts of hours of
copious
practice.
amounts of practice and
Yeah.
perseverance and commitment.
Yeah.
And it's not something you just like
Pick
decide
up.
to do on a whim. Like some people do, but they have the tenacity to stick with it.
Yeah.
And Chloe has shown obviously that she has the tenacity to stick with it. And
I agree.
the niece has shown that she clearly doesn't with a lot of things. So yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Give the cello to someone who actually would use it
And appreciate
and
it.
appreciate it
For what it
and
is.
who needs it, like who
Yeah.
can't get one of their own. Like,
Yeah. I agree.
oh no, am I the asshole for doing a good deed?
No.
Oh, yeah.
No, you are not.
No, that's fair.
That's fair.
That's fair. That's fair.
People are gonna think we rehearse these.
We don't.
Song
Except that we
bits.
don't.
They are completely and 100% live.
We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Yep.
Next story.
Yeah.
This is one where I'm not going to read you the title because it kind of gives it away.
All
oh,
right.
another one of those. Yay.
It's a bit of a funny one, and I'm curious to hear this one.
Oh boy.
It's a bit of a battle of the sexes kind of thing.
Uh-oh.
What's up, Reddit?
Hey.
35 male here. My wife, 32 female, bought herself this awesome hairdryer from Dyson last month.
Okay.
And she
I hear they're
paid
killer.
over $400 for it.
Yes, they're expensive.
Yep.
This is easily the coolest hairdryer I've ever seen. It's silver/purple and has this really cool design. Reminds me of the plasma rifle from Halo. Super quiet as well. You can dry
Sweet.
your hair in stealth mode.
Okay.
Nerd.
I was so impressed by this dryer that I asked my wife if I could use it too. She said I could use it whenever I wanted, and it was good that I use it to better get our money's worth. I started using it every morning after my shower to dry my hair instead of just towel and air drying like I used to. I have short hair, so it only took a minute to dry. Still felt like I wasn't getting much use out of it, so I started experimenting. I tried drying my armpits, makes applying deodorant much nicer, and I started drying down below.
Squeeze me?
Side note, 100% do recommend. Without going into much detail, it just feels a lot more hygienic throughout the day. This morning, my wife walked into the bathroom after my shower and saw something perhaps she wasn't meant to see. For the record, I did not intend for her to come in, but I didn't have the door locked. I had one foot on the
That
floor,
was your first mistake.
one foot on the counter. Hairdryer in hand pointed toward Venus and Earth.
No, God, please, no, 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 no.
I may have been humming the Halo theme as well. My wife had a bit of a freak out and was like, "What are you doing?" I stopped and reminded her that she said I could use the dryer whenever
With her
I wanted.
$400 hairdryer.
She countered it with saying that she didn't say I could use it that way. So I'm not sure if my wife has a point here. I definitely did not explicitly state how I was going to use the dryer, but there was no conversation of limitations beforehand. Am I the a-hole?
What say you?
Nah, bruh. So the a-hole. What the heck?
The
I
title,
mean,
the title of this post is, "Am I the a-hole for using my wife's $400 hairdryer on my nards?"
I see why you didn't lead with
Yeah. But I mean, I agree. Like, why would you? Why?
Here's the thing.
Why would you blow dry down there?
You're not necessarily a full-on a-hole, but you
But-
are in fact in the wrong. You don't take someone else's hair dryer
Especially one that's expensive.
and use
just
it in that way. Like, I get you just got out of the shower, but bro,
Bro, that's what towels are for.
it's like if we shared a towel and I used it to dry my area, and then I let you use it. Like, it's
And you wiped your face.
like
No.
Like, no. That's a place that just, you either use a regular hair dryer because
Or
it's not
air
going to
dry.
get anywhere close to it or touch it or anything like that.
Air
or you
dry.
just let it air dry. Or a towel. A towel works
Towel.
great for that area.
That's why they invented towels. I'm still
It's a nah, brah, for me.
Nah Brah.
Nah, brah.
I agree with you, just not to the whole reasoning and extent behind it.
Well,
So-
what's your reasoning?
Well, have a conversation more. Like, let's be communicative here.
Sure,
He
we can,
assumed.
we
He
should
assumed, yeah.
communicate.
Communicative.
We should do the communit.
Yep.
That does make life a lot easier if we communicate it.
Yep. With the words
But,
and the compromises
yeah.
and stuff.
At least be like, hey, would you be cool if I like
Dried down there.
Menards with it. And if she said, nah, brah, then don't do it.
Don't do it.
Exactly.
But don't just be like, I'm going to dry Menards with it.
I'm going to experiment to get my money's worth.
I'm going to experiment. If you don't think you're going to get your money's worth out of it because you have short hair, grow out your hair.
Or it's just going to last longer because you won't burn out the motor.
Or blow dry the dog.
There you go. Blow dry the dog.
And on that note, let's go to the next one.
Is the next one about a dog?
No.
Oh,
That would have been
did
great
I set you
segue.
up really well?
That would have been the best segue.
To segue is talking about an uninterrupted transition.
Am I the a-hole for eating my cupcake outside?
What?
Please explain.
I have a 10-year-old daughter who loves frosting. Every week, I buy cupcakes for me, my wife, and her, and she always eats my frosting. These past few weeks, I decided to eat my cupcake before going inside. She asked me where my cupcake is, and I told her I don't like cupcakes anymore, so I only bought 2. It worked for a while, but last night when I was enjoying my cupcake before going inside, she caught me and ran to her mom to tell her how much of a terrible dad I am to steal her frostings for weeks. She is sulking, and my wife thinks I'm the a-hole, and I'm acting childish and should just let her have it. But it's easy for her to say when she has never given up her frosting. Am I the a-hole?
What say you?
That's fair.
I agree.
Children be spoiled. Children don't need everything.
So-
that is my frosting.
Well, yeah.
Miss.
It's like, excuse me, that's my parental tax as part of my parental unit card.
These kids nowadays, they get whatever they want just because they pull a pout. Nah, brah. Nah, brah. I'm
Nah.
sorry. That is my
Kid,
frosting.
get off your high horse.
Get off your high horse, man! Get off!
I
Like,
want your frosting. Well,
I don't
you know
care.
what? I want $1 million. We can't all get what we want.
guess what? I'd also like to eat my own damn frosting.
Yeah. Guess what? I would like a few minutes of peace, but here you are.
Here you are.
Here you are.
I love,
you
but
to
please
pieces.
leave.
I love you so much. You can have your frosting. You are more than entitled to your own dang frosting. If you want to share, that's a different story. And if you wanted to share like once, like, oh yeah, it's cute, you want my frosting, here you go. But that doesn't mean it has to be a thing
Every time.
Thanks for like helping me with my point. That was,
You're welcome.
That just hit home. That just
Dropped
gave it
the
that little
octave.
1-2 punch.
Yep.
Just like dropped
the-
it.
Yeah.
Mic drop. Bam.
If I remember correctly from the post, there is a very wholesome ending to that where they had a conversation
good.
and she was like,
Excellent.
oh, I won't eat your frosting all the time. It's cute and we love each other and we share and whatever, but she understands. So it was,
Well,
it
that's
was
good.
a good end.
Faux shizzle.
I got
My
another
nizzle.
one. This is another one where I don't want to give the title away. This is a weird one. I was like, this is bizarre.
Okay.
My 33 male wife, 31 female, and I just had our daughter, our first child, 3 months ago. My family has a tradition where the firstborn will get a special stuffed animal. I got one from my mother when I was born, who got one from her mother, who got one from her father, and so on and so on. The reason that it's special is because the stuffing is made from their parents' hair. The way it works is that once a child is old enough to start getting their hair cut, their parent will save as much of that hair as they can. When the child becomes a parent themselves, the new grandparent will use the saved hair to make a stuffed animal to give to the baby. The hair in the toy represents the new parent's connection to the child and is a tangible measure that shows that they'll always be close by. The care taken by the new grandparent in collecting the hair and using it to make the toy represents the child's connection to its family history and is a tangible measure that shows the extended family will always support them. In short, the stuffed animal is a way of connecting the new life to their new family. After my daughter was born, my mother spent a lot of time making a stuffed bear from scratch to fill with my childhood hair. She just finished last week. Since my leave from work is just about over, I was excited to give my daughter the bear and share the tradition with my wife. I thought she would think it was sweet, but she blew up at me. Instead of liking the bear, my wife said it was gross and disgusting and that she wouldn't have it around her daughter. I told her that it's our daughter, not hers, and that there's nothing disgusting about my family's tradition. She said it was unhygienic. I told her that it's not. The hair is clean and well preserved. We argued, and eventually she said that if I ever put that thing near her daughter, that she would throw it in the trash. I was shocked. This is something that represents decades of my mother's work and planning and generations of my family's history. I told my wife that if she's so cruel and callous about something that means so much to me and my family, then she's not the person I thought she was. She just called my family's tradition weird and culty. I don't know what to do. I didn't think my wife was this kind of person. I told my mother about the fight, and now she's feuding with my wife too.
Bruh.
My wife then got her family involved before calling me some vulgar names. But am I really an a-hole for wanting to give my special girl her special bear?
I don't even know. Like, I can't even tell you that. Like,
There's a lot to unpack there.
I feel like there's a lot more you should be asking than just, are you the a-hole for wanting to give your daughter a bear with your hair? That sounds like a whole family problem.
Sounds like divorce is coming.
I think you and your wife have a lot more issues than a bear full of hair.
I think so too.
At
But
first
I'm
I was like, wow, a bear full of hair, that's a little psycho.
yeah.
But I get it. I guess you can see how that's kind of cute. But then it kept going. I was like, oh my gosh.
It's like a train wreck. You just
I don't
can't
even
look
know.
away.
I don't even know how to judge this one. 'Cause
Yeah.
the question he asked felt like it wasn't the question he should be asking.
Agreed. I mean, there's just so much to unpack. I'm on the fence. I mean, in some ways, he's an a-hole.
Why was this something you like brought up to your wife after the bear was made? Did
Yeah,
you
I'm like,
never
why
talk
would
about
you-
this family, this
Very deep and personal and super nice family connection.
past history, whatever
Right,
thing,
I'm like,
before you had a kid?
Would you not have your bear that you would have shown
Yeah, would
your
you
wife
never brought it up?
when you were dating?
Was it really that special to you if you had never talked about it until the moment you wanted to present it to your daughter?
Answer the question.
I don't know, man. Here's the thing.
but at the same time, like,
to
the fact-
answer your very smally minded specific question, I don't think you are an a-hole for wanting to pass on a tradition to your daughter.
Agreed.
No.
However,
The rest of it, though, very much so.
and the fact that, he went to his mom and she started bickering with his wife, and then she brought in her family and
You're
they
both
started
a-holes.
bickering. Wow.
Everyone's an a-hole. That's it. Just
You're an a-hole. You're an a-hole. You're an
nah,
a-hole.
brah, to
Nah,
all of
brah.
you.
The whole family needs some work.
That
I
whole
think there's
situation
some
was
therapy there.
that was just a big
Whew.
claustrophobia thing of
Cluster-
what, cluster
Bomb.
whatever,
We'll just call it cluster bomb.
cluster bomb. That was a cluster bomb.
Yeah.
Jingle jangle.
Bojangle.
That was a
Jingle
great
dangle.
one to end on.
Wow.